The following program is rated GE. It is suitable for general family viewing.
Welcome to TV47 Wildlife. In the last episode, we joined Ephanta Smugo, the head of Lewa Conservation Education Program at the Lewa Conservation Education Center, to learn about the importance of wildlife, the impact humans have on the environment, and how we can protect the environment. Today, we continue with a conversation of conservation as Ephanta takes us through some of the other exhibits at the center.
Many a times we tend to focus so much on the big five, the small five, or the large herbivores, the elephants and all that. But we are also in a section whereby we need to appreciate that the world cannot survive with the large herbivores only. We need the organisms that really drive the world. We have this corner about the insects, and reminding you some of the things that you learned in your primary school, kindergarten. We are told that insects are very small, among the smallest animals. They have wings. We may not really love them. I think one of the animals that everybody loves is the butterfly, yes. And others. Everybody will say we love insects because they give us honey. But again, is honey the only benefit that we really get from insects? We are reminding people about why we need insects on the environment. The elephants need insects to survive. The rhinos require insects to survive. And you also require insects to survive. Not because of honey, but because the food that you are going to take today for lunch, or you took yesterday, was able to be produced because insects helped in pollination. And that is why pollination is a key benefit. But again, as they pollinate, that is why we get the honey. Actually, honey is a secondary benefit. The primary benefit is pollination. But again, if they pollinate and they have the plants growing, then we have the plants outside there being able to reproduce. But as they are reproducing and growing, we have other insects that is helping them to get nutrients. Those insects that we call them decomposers. An insect that you may not eat, but an insect that really works so hard to ensure that your crops, your plants get manure and what they really need. So we are reminding them about these benefits because many a times you might think the cow is the most important animal, yet the bees will give you honey. But also you have another insect here that is like a butterfly. Gives you clothing. It's a silkworm moth. This is pure silk. Maybe pure silk. Silk is a product of insects. The insects remove some threads from their mouth. They make cocoons. But when you cultivate silkworms, you're able to get the fibers from these cocoons, which you use to get some strings. So you might be whirling, enjoying in town, yet whatever you are whirling, you might be whirling a product of the insect. If insects can give us clothing, cows can give us milk, and chicken can give us meat and eggs. And rhinos, we love them because they are beautiful to see, and they are also able to help us in transferring seeds from one place to another, which is the most important animal among the ones that we have listed. That's why this world cannot really survive when we live alone. They cannot also survive if lions and rhinos just live alone. We need all the organisms together. We have bees in the classroom, and these bees make honey in this classroom. And the reason why we have them here is because I don't think you have ever come across bees this close, safely. And sometimes we are lucky to see some, yes, we can see the honey, but sometimes we're able to see their wings and legs with pollen. These bees are able to fly out through the wall. There's an entrance through the wall somewhere. They fly out, visit the flowers, come here and make the flowers. But we are able to get to learn more about their organization, the process of making honey. But also, we are able really to appreciate that they are very coordinated in their work. Sometimes we are lucky to see the queen. Queen looks different from the less. Because of size is longer, and again is bigger in size, and the males are also very big compared to all these are workers. What mostly I'm able to see they are the workers. And then the reason why having the bees is to really help you get very close and have that the attachment. Sometimes we may talk about beekeeping as a way that we can enhance the productivity of our land, but again, it's one of the things that I had kept here for you to see. They stay in darkness because when there is so much light, they really feel as if they are not in a safe place. So that's why we need to keep them close. It's something important in terms of the numbers.
Okay.
For a bee to produce a kilogram of honey, they require to visit one flower and another one and another one, more than 2 million flowers. For it to produce 1 kilogram of honey, they have to visit more than 2 million flowers. If one bee was to do that. But because they work in a colony, bees are able to visit different flowers, and then they bring honey to make 1 kilogram, and another time they make 1 kilogram.
Yeah.
And so that you may be thinking that 1 kilogram of honey is so much, but the flowers pollinated is what really matters here. A bean plant flower is able to produce like 5 seeds. That means every flower, 5 seeds. We are talking about more than 10 million seeds. So what we enjoy every day in the kitchen is something that might have come from the bees, the works of the bees.
Yes.
And that is why we value insects so much for their raw pollination, not just for their honey, but for their raw information, because they feed us.
We'll be back right after this break.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
The Realtor, this is where we travel, move far and wide just to make sure that we bring you what.
Wakati mwingine kama weekend, mimi najiachilia.
Hata ukumbuki history.
Nikifika watu wangu wakinipokea na kupokeleka.
Umeset the mood.
Nimeset the mood. Naweza kupokeleka. Nikitumai kwamba mzima popote pale ulipo, nikikukaribisha katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi. Jina langu Elizabeth Mutuku, na katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi tunakupa nafasi kutangamana nao kila siku ya Alhamisi kuanzia saa 1:30 kuendelea siku nyingine. Tutapatana papa hapa umjue kiongozi mwingine.
Jiunge nasi toka hapa hadi ufuoni mwa bahari. Meli yetu itakapotua nanga kwa uhondo ribo ya riwaya hii mwisho wa kosa. Monica.
It's early morning in Maralal. Start your morning informed, educated, entertained, and above all, know your country. From the beautiful plains of Samburu County to the skyscrapers of Nairobi, Morning Cafe certainly got you covered. Indeed, a beautiful place to watch and certainly a moment of understanding and knowing your country. Indeed, to the remotest parts of every county. Join me, Linda Alela, every weekday from 6 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
The diversity of Kenya's wildlife.
Welcome back.
We need to keep on reminding people about the importance of taking the environment in totality. And that is why we have a table here that I would like us just to look at. And this is a table that we are comparing a well-conserved environment and a poorly conserved environment. Many a times, when you're talking about conservation, it's because we want an environment that really is intact, the environment that we're able to get several benefits from it. An environment that has all trees cut down has a lot of challenges. And maybe the two environments here communicate something that if you live here and I live on the other side, who between the two would be really struggling? Somebody living here on the other end. And we have this table here to help also communicate the responsibility of man in the environment. The person living here and the person living there, this person is more conscious. He harvests water when it is raining.
Yes.
He does not complain about lack of water every time after the rains, because he is able to store some water. And those are the ideas that we're also communicating to our audience and the students. And the other person doesn't care. And that means that person will always be complaining every time that there is no water. But again, we also to ask ourselves, if there was rain for today and rain fell here, who would be complaining of flooding? The person that would be complaining of flooding. Soil erosion who would have fertile crops. This person would have fertile crops. And that is why I want us to do something. Maybe I can pull this for you. There's some yes. I can pull that for you. We are creating some rainfall. And maybe you can hear some dadas. The rainfall is falling. The assignment is here, can you confirm what part of this ecosystem receives the first drop? This is like a hill. Do you have any drop here, there?
Yeah.
Already there is water flowing here, so much water is really flowing there. Yeah. But there is not a single drop here. I don't know how long it takes. There's not a single drop yet, but there's a lot of water there. Not a single yet, but there's still more water there. The people there would be flooded at this time. Soil was really curling down. There's still no water here. But where is this water going? To the trees and to the soil. And in science, we are reminded that when water falls on the environment, it can land on the surface, but it can also infiltrate in the soil. The more water we have infiltrating in the soil, the more water we have in the rivers during the dry season. But the more water we lose as runoff after the rains, then the less water we have in our rivers during the dry season. And that is why most rivers are turning from permanent to seasonal, because again, people may be living in the environment that are not able to hold the water. The environment that is not able to hold the water and release it slowly. We talk about the forest being sponge of the environment. That is what is happening here. But on that section, when the water is running down, after the rains, that guys would be complaining. But this guy would be still have water, clean environment, good environment. And that is why I want to remind you that when all the soil is colored, then we have a very infertile soil. That is why, if you look at this box here, when you dig a hole outside there, you are able to find different layers. Just like you have picked from that table, when you have so much erosion, we have the topsoil being lost. And then the topsoil is normally the fertile soil, is where our crops grow, is where our cows would get their pasture. And we want to remind everyone, our audience, to ensure that we need to take care of the topsoil. Otherwise, we'll be losing the soil that really supports our life and our crops. And this is actually a clear show of the fertile soils, much sandy soil, but when you go down, you find the very stone. You might have visited some areas that are very stony, and maybe some years back it was not as stony. That means they cannot really get this soil back. It's very difficult to get the soil wherever it is to bring it back. And connecting this to a mural that we have here, when the teachers come here, we have the message of conservation. We have the message of the transformation that they want to do. But we have teachers who also take ideas that they are able to help the students understand the concept they're communicating in class, which is one of the other additions for the program. The image that we have here is just like a summary of what we have been talking today. We are having a very degraded environment. Many a times an environment that I don't think we would really prefer living here. If you look at the challenges that the person living here might be having, there's no water. These guys do not struggle really to get water. There are no plants. You can realize there was a lot of deforestation. The number of animals, the cutting down of trees. We talked about when animals are so many. We have degradation because of overstocking, we lead to overgrazing. So we are reminding people about the challenges you'd face if you don't take care of the environment. We don't conserve the environment for the animals. We conserve the environment because it really supports us. If you don't take care of the environment, you equally get affected by the lack of the resources that we require every day. And that is why we need to take care of the environment, and that if you look at this section of this board, we are looking at a an area that has plenty of trees, does plenty of wildlife. There's a farmer, there's a pastoralist here. There's a pastoralist at that corner with keeping livestock. I don't think he really struggles with food. With food, there is no struggle with water. But again, those people living on that section will have a lot of struggle with water. So we can look at really benefits when we take care of the environment and the challenges when we don't take care of the environment. But because our environment may not be in a very good state, we cannot just sit down and say, let it be. We have a solution.
Yes.
And the solution can only come from me and you. And that is why my friend here decided to plant a tree. I don't know how many you are planted, but we need to do something. And that is why when we talk about the challenges that lead to degradation, then we have you can improve that by planting trees. If you have challenges of waste management, you can improve that by ensuring that we sort out the waste very well, and you are able to ensure that we don't just go retelling, because if you do, then the environment will still be a challenge. It's not just the environment that will suffer, but you will suffer as an individual. And that is why our message here when the students come, we want them to really realize that they're enjoying wildlife, they understand the connection of the wildlife and the environment, and how their actions really impact on the environment. On the other side of the facility, we have an accommodation facility, which when we have students coming from very far. 2 weeks ago, we had a group from Lake Turkana, near Lake Turkana. We hosted here for 2 nights, and today we are hosting a group from Wamba. Those are very dry areas. They are very unfortunate. They have not had an opportunity to go out for the trips. This is the first time these students are going out for the trip. And we sponsor them to get an experience, to appreciate wildlife, so that whatever is remaining in their landscape, they can take care of that. We have an accommodation facility that we give to these groups. But apart from the accommodation facility, we have teaching projects where they're able to learn more about water conservation through drip irrigation, or to learn about composting. So whatever the waste they generate in the kitchen, when they come and cook, they're able to participate in composting as an idea they can practice when they go back home. We also have a tree nursery where we are able to help them take care of the seedlings, understand how to grow the tree, so that they want to continue with that. So coming to Lewa is not just about the animals, but understanding about how to take care of the environment in totality. That's what I do. We are happy that you came to learn with us.
Human beings, young and old, play a key role in conservation. With centers such as this one at the heart of Lewa, it is likely that Kenya's learners will understand the complexities of ecological problems that face us and how they can be a part of the solution. That's it for today's episode of TV47 Wildlife. Catch us again next week.